Hey everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us today on Comics from the Future. This is our show we do every single Friday where we're going to preview the latest and greatest upcoming comics from Marvel, DC, a ton of indie stuff, new series, cool covers, things that you don't want to miss. Put them on your pull list with your local comic shop. In case you don't know, my name is Megan.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Jason. We're with InfinityFluxcomics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee.
As my shirt displays. But yeah, thank you guys again for tuning in today. Please take a second to subscribe to us on YouTube. We're super close to being at 2,000 followers. Maybe not super close, but close enough that I beg you, help us get there. We're also on Instagram, whatnot, and anywhere you can find comic content, we're there. So go find us. And I think we're just going to dive in. It's a pretty big week this week.
Yeah, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, it's a double DC order week?
I believe it's a double DC. When I was looking at the release dates on them, there was 2 different release dates. So without thinking too hard, I believe it's because of holiday coming up.
Yeah, it's because next week is Labor Day.
Right.
And when they have a holiday on Mondays, Lunar, the company that distributes DC, they skip that week. So they do twice as much the previous week.
Right.
So you're going to see a lot from them. So let's start with our featured comics.
Starting with a big one. Unfortunately, this does not have the title on it, but this is the Death of Superman 30th Anniversary one-shot. This is an oversized one-shot celebrating... it's been 30 years since one of the biggest events in comics. One could say it might be the biggest, like, in-story event that's happened. Just, a lot of things are referenced, like, you know, because it not only changed the character, but also the business of comics,
Right.
and how, like, collectible issues and the kind of polybag and all of that. So to celebrate that landmark occasion, DC has brought back all of the original creators from Death of Superman. So you have Dan Jurgens, Roger Stern, Louise Simonson, Jerry Ordway, all of the original artists. Everyone's back to celebrate this and tell new stories revolving around Death of Superman and Doomsday. So our main story in this is actually Jonathan Kent when he was the younger version of Jonathan Kent is at school, and he had never heard of the Death of Superman, and they talk about it in his class, and his teacher has to tell Jonathan Kent about essentially his father's death. He's very confused by this, but it's a very interesting story.
That teacher is very bold. I'd probably be like, go home and talk to...
Yeah. Well,
you know.
to him, they don't... I guess they... I wonder if this is pre him saying that he's Superman.
That makes sense.
That would be a
see.
little awkward.
Right.
You're like, I don't think I'm qualified for
Yeah.
this. But there is another big thing in this, and it's the premiere of a new villain called Doombreaker. You'll see him on one of the covers. He essentially looks like Doomsday, but with 2 more arms. How do you make someone even scarier? Just give them more arms. But you'll see it. As well as there's going to be stories involving the Guardian, who is a big character at that time, from his perspective about this. A story with Steel and his perspective of Death of Superman. And one I think is going to be really impactful is Ma and Pa Kent watching the events of Death of Superman on TV from their home and everything. Very interesting, very sad story, all of that, but really cool to celebrate this big milestone event. This is our A cover, which is a gatefold cover, so you'll see this is the center, and then this is the left-hand side where you see kind of the early parts of Doomsday, and this is the right-hand side with kind of the fallout of the battle. Then we have the Jim Lee variant. Very different for Jim Lee.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
Very, very artsy. We have the Ivan Reis funeral.
It's up to you to count how many characters are on that cover.
Yes, and who's not in attendance.
Yep.
We have the Dan Mora Superman, well, John Kent Superman. We have, this one's really cool. This is a Mattina die cut cover. So I'm wondering, are you going to pull the cape back and like he's holding like Superman's head or something? I'm not sure what part of this is going to be the die cut, but still really, really cool one. We have, this is a big one. So this is the JURGENS POLYBAG variant. Of course, this was probably the most iconic polybag comic of all time, Death of Superman. That one originally came with the armband to kind of show your support for Superman and all of that. This will also come with an armband. It's an exclusive cover and a mini poster. And the price of this is up for the individual stores to price, so check with your store about their pricing for this cover.
The short of it is, it's going to cost more.
Yeah, it's going to cost more. Just how much more is up to them. And then this is the Sarmento Doombreaker variant, where you can see Doombreaker on there with his 4 arms.
Okay, so the team of Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman are launching a new comic. That's right. This is the team that did the huge Venom series over at Marvel. Their new comic is called Vanish. It's over at Image, is the publisher. And what it is about is I guess it starts with a history sort of thing where there was a kid who defeated his world's greatest evil before he even hit puberty. Okay, so this kid, obviously very powerful, defeats the greatest evil. Well, now it's years later, and the world has been peaceful. It's been so peaceful that it's almost like it didn't happen. It's like those days are so gone that people don't really remember it. This kid has grown up, and he's got a very troubled life. He's a chain smoker. He gets drunk every night to try to forget a lot of the horrors he faced when he was a kid. So what happens when a new superhero team arrives on this planet out of nowhere and sort of tell him, hey, there's this coming evil. Like, it seems like maybe a lot of his past is going to get dredged back up. It seems like a lot of the people who forgot things are going to have to remember that he at one time used to be a hero long, long ago. So that is the premise for the comic Vanish, the new one by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. I have a feeling that this is going to be a very, very hot comic because it's them. As much as Cates' work on crossover was divisive. Some people love it, some people hate it. I think everybody likes his superhero work. Yeah. And so getting to see him do some indie superhero stuff sounds like a real good time. Especially as we wait for that werewolf comic that he announced ages ago to pop back up. But anyway, so that's what's going on in this. And so regular cover is by Ryan Stegman. This is the variant by Johnson. And there is going to be a blank variant. They really restrained themselves this time with just 2 variants.
I know there's quite a few incentives. I know Ryan always doing an incentive and everything. So check with your store about that. But yeah, I think this is
a few less than crossover.
Yeah, they're putting this out there and being like, just try it out. You don't have a lot of options with covers. You're going to like it.
Okay, this one is going to be a big hit. This is written by Bruce Campbell. This is a long title, DC Horror presents Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead. So DC Horror, they did things like Soul Plumber and The Conjuring. So it's kind of a new-ish DC imprint that they do. They do it throughout the year, but of course it's getting on to be Halloween time soon. So of course they're going to do some new stuff. Really cool sort of, not reinvention, but, well, recontextualization of the adventures of Sergeant Rock. And it's going to be a 6-part mini-series. So basically we're in 1944 Berlin, and Hitler and his evil doctors have created a serum to bring their dead soldiers back to life. So it creates probably the most horrifying thing you've ever heard of, Nazi zombies. And Sergeant Rock and his team will have to take them on. So Bruce Campbell is a huge part of the Army of Darkness franchise. He has just a really great sense of humor, so I hope this will be funny. I assume it will. I mean, you're talking about Nazi zombies. Come on, there's some humor in that. Hopefully.
Campy, maybe.
Campy, yeah. So I expect really good things from this. Looking forward to it quite a bit. So this is the cover A from Gary Frank. And then we have the Francavilla cardstock variant. It's like a cool army poster.
I want to say I'm a big lifetime Bruce Campbell fan, and I looked into this more because I was like, how much is he writing this, or how much is he like co-writing it? He is writing all that.
That's what I thought was crazy is there's no co-writer. It's him.
Yeah, he's doing the whole thing. So if you're a Bruce Campbell fan like me, you know, I as delightful as he is in interviews, I'm sure this is going to be great.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, next up is one I'm very excited about. We got the Saturday Morning Adventures G.I. Joe recently, which was a big hit, going all the way back and telling stories from the original cartoon of G.I. Joe, now we're getting Saturday Morning Adventures, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is still by Eric Burnham, the same writer who definitely can pull off that campiness, that fun of the original 80s cartoons. And these are going to be standalone stories, kind of like standalone episodes of the show. So in this, we are going to have the turtles get stuck in a training simulator that pits them against their worst bad guys. So you get to see a whole cavalcade of their villains in this. And I believe this is just like the other one. I think it's a 5 or 6 issue miniseries. It didn't say, but I'm very excited about this. Going back to some very classic Ninja Turtles times, probably where a lot of people became big fans of them. There is the A cover for this. There is, of course, a B cover that is going to be a Kevin Eastman, which I think is going to be interesting. How much is Eastman going to channel the animated Turtles, or is this just going to be him completely doing his own style? And then there is a GREGORI variant as well.
Yeah, Eastman covers are really good, and he's one of the few people, he doesn't have his covers ready, and I'm like, oh, that's just going to make it a fun surprise.
Yeah, that's actually going to be better than what I think it's going to be.
He's talented enough, yeah, that it works out. But yeah, I got into the Turtles definitely from the cartoon. Mm-hmm. Was where I first got into them, so this is exciting. All right, so next up is Creepshow is doing a 5-issue miniseries. This is, Creepshow is from so long ago, but this is based off of the hit Shudder TV show that is led by Greg Nicotero, one of the Walking Dead showrunners. So if you like that show, you're probably going to like this. If you just like horror comics like me, you're probably going to like it too. It's going to have multiple people writing multiple stories. Like in this one, Chris Burnham, the person who's behind Die, 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 he's doing a story. So is Paul Dini.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Paul Dini is going to get that horror in there. He does a good Batman. That's gothic. That's a step away from some Creepshow horror. So this is going to, as I said, going to be a 5-issue miniseries. This is the main cover by Burnham. Here is the variant by Shalvey. And there's going to be a blank sketch one as well.
So we are featuring this, The Brothers Flick, because we know the creators of this comic. This is a graphic novel going to be $12.99, and the two folks, Ryan Haddock is the writer and Nick Weiche, the artist. They are longtime Chattanooga residents, where our shop is from, and it's really exciting that they're getting their first published comic coming out. This is coming from Vault, so really exciting for them. So much to say. I don't know what to say about it, but we used to run, before COVID, a comic co-op here, so we had a comic creator group. We met both of them through that, and I believe the inception of this book actually started in that group within that time. So very cool to finally see it go from an idea to an actual published piece. So this is about 4 brothers who investigate strange occurrences. It is Sherlock Holmes meets Wayside School, Edwardian era supernatural sleuthing that these brothers do. And I know Ryan derives a lot from his own life. He has quite a few sons. So I think their personalities are in this as well. So really fun. And we will be doing a signing here if you're local. So yeah, stay tuned for info on that, and congratulations to you both.
Yep, congrats to Ryan and Nick for sure on this. Yep, very cool.
Okay, next up, Tim Drake is getting his own ongoing series. This is Tim Drake Robin. So I guess as one Robin series closes, a new one begins. This time focusing on Tim Drake, semi-spinning out of the storylines that have been going on in Batman Urban Legends, but still accessible to come back into it. They say this is the return of the greatest Robin. That's up to if he's your favorite, but to his own series, he probably had I'm pretty sure he had the longest running single title called Robin was Tim Drake as Robin before. And this one is going to see Tim Drake actually get his own little piece of Gotham that he's headquartered at, just like how Nightwing has Bloodhaven and all of that. I think the Batgirls have their own portion of Gotham. Tim Drake has his own. And even says he creates his own base that's a murder shack boat. I don't know what that means. It sounds very scary and something you don't want to go into, but we'll have to see. This is written by Megan Fitzmartin and Riley Rosmo, who was the previous artist on Harley Quinn. And it also says there is a new villain that's targeting Robin and everyone that's close to him, including his new boyfriend and his kind of family and friends around him. So sounds really cool. I'm very excited about this one. And the variants for this, I'm really excited because they're doing Robin's throughout, or Tim Drake's costumes and times throughout his career, starting with the Jimenez 1 year later suit, probably my favorite Robin suit. And I think each issue is going to have another incarnation of it. Then we have the Baldion Harley 30th anniversary special cover.
All right, not to be ever outdone by Robin, Batman has another series, but this one's really different, okay? This is a 7-issue miniseries called Batman, The Audio Adventures. I promise you, there is art in this. It's not just, you open it and...
It's like a greeting card with music.
Yeah.
It just starts playing.
Right. No, I don't believe it's that. So this is springing out of the award-winning podcast Batman, The Audio Adventures. So that just sort of had its ending for now, and the comic is starting up out of that. I don't think you had to have listened to it, though. This story seems very self-contained. It has to do with Batman going after a mysterious group of assassins who are killing people around Gotham looking for a mysterious, powerful sword, some sort of ancient relic. So that is generally what's going on with Batman, The Audio Adventures. That's a lot of what the show's about. If you see this on the rack and you don't know that there's a podcast, it could be a little confusing. But so this is our regular cover, and then there is a Mike Allred variant for it as well.
I like it. Also seems like it's hitting that like old radio serial time frame, especially getting like Mike Allred, who has that very classic style, kind of the shadow and all that. Really cool.
All right, so now we're going to get to other number ones. They're not featured, but maybe you'll like them more. I keep trying to come up with what's the catchline for that part.
All right, first up is Titans United Blood Pact. This is a 6-part miniseries. This is going to be for fans of the TV show. It seems like a mystery, mainly revolving around Tim Drake for this. So even if you don't watch the show, once again, you might find something you like. So this is cover A. This is the Derek Chu cover B. And then the Jorge Molina Hispanic Heritage Month variant.
And then we have what they're saying is the first of 3 essential stories to Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, or Axe series. If they're that essential, I'm surprised that they aren't blasting this up even more. But in this, it's a one-shot. Tony Stark has to enter a suit that may kill him to save everyone else. So he's always putting on suits to save people. Now he has to put one on that might kill him to save others. So this is our A cover for that. And then there is a La Roca variant.
Also available for order, Marvel is doing their annual Marvel Voices Community One-Shot. This, of course, is an anthology of stories celebrating Marvel's Latinx characters and creators. It also promises, and I like that they said it out up front this time because we always wonder, that there is going to be a brand new character introduced to the Marvel Universe in this. Because they slip a lot of new characters in these, but not all of them. So this time, the editor's like, go ahead and let them know. There will be, for sure, a new character in this. So this is the main cover. Here is the Jimenez variant. The Medina design variant.
Which I think might be our
who that is.
New character.
I would say, sure. I would say that is it. A very cool design. I like there's like a logo and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then here is the Chico variant.
And next up we have a series of one-shots that are going to be from Archie Comics, the Weirder Mysteries, Chilling Adventures, Weirder Mysteries. This is going to be equal parts X-Files and Black Mirror, it is promised. So it's going to be set in Riverdale, which is a hotbed of supernatural and strange happenings and paranormal stuff. So it's going to be like little case files, little different one-shots of that highlight these weird occurrences in each one. So sounds pretty fun if you are a fan of the Archie Riverdale Sabrina verse. So this is cover A, and this is the cover B.
The Archie universe, for being like the normal, they go to school and everything, could be the weirdest comic book universe out of all of them.
True, yeah.
With all the crossovers.
With all the crossovers and
absolutely
zombies
true.
and aliens.
Yeah.
What is this?
Oh, wow, it pulled up a weird image for this. This is Bloodshot Unleashed #1.
Yeah, that looks like panels from the
Yeah,
interior.
I'm not sure why that.
Let me see what the next one is.
Yeah, that's
Let's
a
go to that.
that's a variant for it, but this is Bloodshot Unleashed #1. This is a new, seems to be ongoing Bloodshot series from Valiant. And this time, if you didn't think Bloodshot was bloody enough, this is their first mature reader Bloodshot story. And in this one, some super soldiers, some horrible super soldiers have been have mysteriously escaped from some facility, and it's up to Bloodshot to cross the country and find them and take them out. So if you've never read a Bloodshot story, I'd say that's one of Valiant's stronger characters. You know, he's had his own movie and everything. Check this one out. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. So this is actually our variant cover. This is the Rifkin variant. And then this is the action figure variant.
All right, so another new series. This is going to be a 6-part series called Born of Blood.
So much blood.
Yeah, you're right. Lots of bloody
blood
comics
packed.
this week.
Mm-hmm.
So this one makes sense why there's blood. I mean, the other one was bloodshot, so
Yeah.
I had to. But this one, this is about a Spartan king who only has one heir, who happens to be a daughter. You know, his wife dies, leaving him with just the one heir. And so he decides that he is going to put her through a series of just horrific tests to prepare her to be the Spartan protector and warrior and ruler that she must be, since there's no other options. So she's just going to have a terrible childhood, and we're going to watch it in this comic. But hopefully it's going to turn her into a really awesome, kick-ass individual. So this is the regular cover for that. Here is the Halloran variant. And lastly, the No Ignacio variant.
Next up is a really fun, cute, crazy-looking indie comic from Oni Press and from creator Nick Cagnetti, who is the writer and artist on this. Pink Lemonade, that is our character's name. This had such a fun description. So she is a heroine with a mysterious past, colorful costume, obviously, an altruistic outlook, I like that, so she's going to be a good guy, a zippy motorcycle, and an overactive imagination. So, sounds like it reminds me of Deadpool, a little bit of a description of Deadpool in a way. So this was actually crowdfunded and had a good bit of support, and I'm not super familiar with Nick Cagnetti, but it seems like this was a bit of an underground hit character he's been developing for a while, so here it is in print. Sounds really fun, and it is going to be ongoing, it seems. So here is the cover A, and then the cane, Shaky Cane. Is that Shaky Cane?
Yep.
Cover B. I know, yeah, this has got a flavor to it.
If it was Deadpool, though, she would also have a potty mouth.
Yeah, true.
Okay, next up is an interesting one, Eternal Descent #1. This is a new one from Opus. I like the Opus, who's also doing like the Death Dealer comic and all that. They're really leaning into like the music and the metal and everything comics. With this one, this is about a doctorate student who's struggling to get by. She's a musician, kind of hasn't hit the peaks of being a musician yet, named Lyra Constance, and she's become obsessed with the relationship between the occult and music. And as she explores that, she might make a deal that'll make her the biggest musician ever, but at what cost? So there's just one cover for this, and it is a Megan Hetrick cover.
All right, so next up, we're going to get to cool covers and other comics. That's going to be variants that we thought are really noteworthy, and issue number 2s and 3s of newer series to help remind you that you might want to sign up for those. Beginning with Action Comics, issue number 1047. This is the Zerdy variant. And in this issue, Superman is back after the whole War World fiasco. He is back on Earth and more powerful than ever. So this is the Zerdy variant, and here is the Lyrics variant for Harley Quinn's 30th anniversary.
Nice. And this is the J. Scott Campbell variant for Batman Beyond the White Knight #5. And he really hasn't done a lot of DC variants, does he?
No.
J. Scott Campbell?
Basically only when Harley Quinn comes into it.
Okay. Yeah, so this is really good and noteworthy. So cover B for issue #5.
Then, I'm very excited about this one. This is World's Finest, or Batman Superman World's Finest, #7. This kicks off a brand new story arc. And in this one, the untold story of Superman's short-lived sidekick named Boy Thunder. What is the story of Boy Thunder, and what connection does he have to a DC event? It kind of foreshadows an event that happens later, so we'll have to see. This has been one of the best comics coming out, is Mark Waid and Dan Mora's World's Finest. Very excited about this one. And so, of course, you've got a brand new first appearance in this one as well, right there on the cover. This is the A cover. Then we have the Middleton variant and the Dan Mora variant.
All right, this is the Clark variant to Black Adam #4. And this issue, we're going to explore this new pantheon of gods that has kind of shown up in the afterlife with Black Adam as of the last issue. Did Black Adam in the past do something to kind of create these people? Or is he being gaslit, and maybe one of his current or older enemies is just making him think that? So all that will be explored in Black Adam #4. And again, this is the Clark variant.
And then we have DC vs. Vampires #9, another Nathan Zerdy variant, which he visited us in the store maybe about a year ago. So I know he did a lot of like commission pieces back then, but he's getting a lot of stuff from DC now. So congrats to you. I know you watch this every single week. So anyway, DC Vampires #9, cover B.
I'm glad you reminded me about that. I forgot about, like the name rang a bell. And I totally
his name
remember
was so
him.
memorable.
Yeah, he popped in our store. He was driving down 75 going to Florida, and our store's not too far off. So, yeah, nice guy. Very talented artist.
Next up, we have Detective Comics 1064. It's a super creepy cover. That thing looming over Batman.
Oh, yeah.
In this one, there's an old flame that returns into Bruce's life. You'll see it on the variant cover as he continues to investigate the music box that is in his possession. So this is our A cover. This is our J.H. Williams variant. And this is our Anacleto Harley variant.
Okay, so this is the Combadas variant for Flash #786. In this issue, Wally and Linda are finally going to have a very overdue conversation about, perhaps powers that Linda showed us, the reader, she had, I don't know, like 4 issues ago.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to see that. So again, this is the one variant, and then here is the Kim Jacinto variant for Harley's 30th anniversary.
And speaking of Harley, here she is on our main series for Harley Quinn #22. This is a new story arc for those of you, and I'm not sure if this will be weekly. I guess we'll find out soon. But new arc after the space stuff goes by where Harley is dead. Who killed Harley Quinn? She has to, even though she's dead, search and be the detective on her own murder. So hopefully she will have to overcome some hurdles to figure out and get past being dead so she can figure this out. Who knows what will happen?
Did Harley write this plot?
Yes.
This is like they're consulting Harley on these plots.
She writes the descriptions of these.
Yeah,
so,
it's always fun. The Harley written solicitations always are full of jokes and stuff.
So, a bunch of covers on these. That was cover A. This is the Sajic cover B. Then we have the Natalie Sanders Harley Quinn 30th anniversary variant. Lots of balloons and fun. And then we have the Ryan Sook homage cover for Dark Knight Returns.
And then,
moving right
along, we have Human Target #7 of 12. Human Target's been on a little bit of a break, but it is back with this issue. And we have this awesome Art Germ variant with fire.
before we move on, was there no Derek Chu variant for
No,
Harley?
I think
Not
Derek
this
Chu
time.
is finished with the variants
Wow.
for Harley.
Okay. Well, Sajik is a good
Mm-hmm.
If you keep him on all of
Person.
them, especially after Harleen,
Sajik
that's
is so good.
Yes.
incredible.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a really awesome cover. This is the main Redondo cover for Nightwing number 96. Gives me like a Brady Bunch
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
you
Where they're
know?
all looking at each other.
Yeah, that's really good.
And the Nightwing logo is Alice.
So in this issue, Dick and Babs, they have been coming together, as a couple. Their hearts are getting closer and closer. But don't forget that the villain Heartless is still out there, and he has some empty jars he's just waiting to fill. So again, this is the main cover. Then here is the Jamal Campbell variant.
If you had any question that they were getting closer.
And then lastly, we have the Alan Qua Harley's 30th anniversary variant.
And then we have Superman Space Age number 2. This is going to be a 3-part miniseries in case you missed it. So this is by Mark Russell, who is the same creator or writer on like Spider-Man life stories and Fantastic Four life stories, just those sort of, I guess, recontextualizations with U.S. culture and history. There's a lot going on in this. It's kind of hard to describe, and
it's kind of like a parallel, like if Superman came up, but like real world events happened too.
Yeah. So this was a surprise hit. Lots of people found out about this in the weeks after it released, and we sold out of number 1 actually. So this might have flown under your radar. But here is number 2, art by Michael Allred, and that is the cover on this one. And then we have Dave Johnson variant.
And next up, this one's pretty funny. This is Task Force Z number 12 of 12. So final issue of Task Force Z. And this is the Chris Batista Hispanic Heritage Month variant for that one.
All right, here's the main cover for Amazing Spider-Man number 10. This is an Axe tie-in where it claims that Peter Parker / Spider-Man is going to be judged. And that's kind of what it looks like there. He looks like he's kind of groveling at the feet of somebody he feels a lot of guilt about. So that's the main cover. And then here we have the Fornes Beyond Amazing variant.
And then we have Ant-Man. I feel like I saw this poster forever ago, but
Yeah.
no, they all kind of look like that. Anyway, Ant-Man number 3 of 4. The epic journey through Ant-Man's history continues here. This is the A cover. And then we have the Momoko Beyond Amazing Spider-Man variant as well.
And then talk about final issues. We've got a lot of final issues this time. This is the final issue of Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Wow.
This is issue number 42, the Romero variant. It's going to be an oversized final issue, and they're bringing back a lot of the artists that have worked on the series
Nice.
to wrap it up.
Here's the main cover to Damage Control number 2. So, of course, the series released last week. And our main character, the new intern Gus, he got into a lot of trouble. So in this issue, they're sending him out of the mailroom where he almost destroyed the universe. And he instead is going to be in the Consumer Affairs office where he gets to hear people's complaints and grievances.
How
I'm
fun.
sure it'll all go totally well. So again, this is the main cover to Damage Control number 2. And here is the Super Log variant for that.
And then we have Thunderbolts number 2. Unfortunately, number 1 has not released yet, but this is New York City's finest heroes, Hawkeye, Spectrum, America Chavez, Power Man, Persuasion, and Gusting Glory. This is in the aftermath of Devil's Reign, where the Big Apple has some big problems, and this new team has to turn things around. Like I said, number 1 is not out yet, so this number 2 will not be ordered heavily. If you know you want it, put it on a list. And we have a few different covers for you. This is the A. This is the trading card variant. This is the Cola Pride Month variant. This is the Manahini variant.
And then next up, I have Star Wars Afra number 24. We've got quite a few Star Wars books out this time. So this is the Sprouse variant with Lord Momin, one of the really cool new characters was introduced during the Darth Vader run by Charles Soule. I love these that have more unique characters on them. Then we have the Wingard variant for that Dr. Afra issue.
Afra's gone scavenging.
Yeah, it's fun to look in the pack and see what she's got. Then we have Han Solo and Chewbacca, number 6. I'm very excited about this one, especially how the last issue left off, because in this one, Chewbacca is stuck in jail with Maz Kanata and Boba Fett. So see what kind of hijinks they get into. Imagine there's probably going to be a prison break or something like that. This is the Nakayama variant, and this is the Sprouse variant with Mace Windu. And then lastly, we have Star Wars Hyperspace Stories number 2, the new Dark Horse all ages Star Wars series, where each issue kind of picks a different point in the Star Wars timeline. So in this one, after the Death Star, Luke and Leia scout for a new base on a very dangerous planet, all the while being pursued by the Empire. And then we have a Carrie Nord variant for that. And just a reminder, because I will never let you stop being reminded, I'm the artist on issue number 3. I was a kind of last-minute addition to issue number 3. So if you look on Previews World, my name, at least right now, is not on there. But I can assure you, and my iPad assures you, that it's all on here. And yes, I am on issue 3. So we'll talk about more of that when it gets time.
All right, so check this out. Thor issue number 27. But wait, who is that on Thor? That's Venom. That's right. Donny Cates is writing Venom in his Thor book. So first time Cates has written Venom in some time.
Yep.
So that's pretty interesting. And I've been reading Thor, and I don't really know how this is going to happen. But apparently there is a massive team up in this book of Venom, Eddie Brock, Thor, a few other, Norse gods, as they try to save Earth. From what? I don't know, but I'm in.
No, I don't know. How much of Donny Cates' bag of tricks is he going to pull from him?
So this is the main cover for that. Here is the Raza Predator variant.
That's a cool space throwdown between the super-powered Thor and Predator.
And then here is the Zercher variant for Thor number 27.
Then we have Shirtless Bear Fighter, Volume 2, Issue number 2 out. This was such a fun, crazy, just a really great comedy series, and it is back, and very happy about this. If you don't know, Shirtless Bear Fighter fights all things bears. If it's got bear in the name, he's coming after it, and he's not wearing a shirt while doing it. This time, seems to be going after the bear constellation. So this is the cover A from Johnson, and the cover B from Fowler.
I wonder who this new character is, if he's going to be friend or foe. They said the sting
Bumble.
of Mr. Miyagi. So, yeah.
And then we have Artist Elite Presents number 3. So, every one of these issues kind of bounces between the different storylines going on, all by very big creators getting to do their own stories. So in this one, we get 2 new stories, plus part 2 of Brett Booth's Lost Serpent Prince. And the new ones are Chad Hardin, who was a longtime artist on Harley Quinn with Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor, is doing a story called Death Watch. And Jordan Gunderson, who I believe is from Aspen Comics, is doing a story called Apotheosis. So you'll see those on some of these covers. This is the Ali Garza A cover. Then we have the Booth variant. This is the Chad Hardin variant. And this is the Gunderson variant.
Okay, so this is the second issue for Heart Eyes, which had a very interesting first issue. I couldn't really predict where it's going to go after this. So Lupe has run away. It looks like she's running towards the monsters that everyone else wants nothing to do with. But meanwhile, Rico, the guy who she met in the first issue, who he considers himself to have saved her, he's fallen for her. So he's going to chase after her. He's going to try to stop her. But who is Lupe? How has she survived like this? Is she good? Is she bad? This cover makes it look like she's not very good. It looks like her and the monsters are a little closer than what I like. So this is the main cover, and this is the Dialnius variant for Heart Eyes number 2.
And then we have Grimm number 5, the hit series from Boom. In this issue, Jess has the Grim Reaper scythe, and she has a new power. So this is this cover C from Jenny Frison, and this is the FOC reveal variant.
All right, now we're getting to other printings and graphic novels, beginning with
Action Comics #1. This is super cool. We just got the Detective Comics #27. I love that DC's doing these facsimile editions. I feel like, you know, they've reprinted First Spider-Man and a lot of those many times, but they haven't done like Action Comics #1. Even one of the previous ones is actually worth a little bit because it doesn't come around too often. So to read it with all of the original ads and everything, this is Action Comics #1, first appearance of Superman.
Yep, and everyone knows this comic's worth like multi-million dollars, but what an important comic!
Yeah.
Like launching the whole genre of superheroes practically.
Yep.
So. Okay, so Edge of the Spider-Verse #2 is going back to second print. This is the cover by Libera. This, of course, had the first appearance of the new Spider UK. There was a previous one, but this new one looks to be like a pretty important character. In fact, they even address what happened to the other Spider UK. It's pretty cool. The new one kind of one-ups that character. So, anyway, second print for that, available to order.
And that tiny spider.
Yeah, mini spider.
Mini spider.
Yeah,
Right
mini spider has a one-page but very important story to the plot in this as well.
And this is Predator #1 is getting a second print. Yay! Because I cannot believe we bought so many in our mid-sized town. We sold out pretty early, so chances are you may have missed this. Predator at #1, second printing, the La Roca variant for it.
And then Star Wars #26, second printing. This was funny because, you know, issue 25 was the big, like, milestone issue or whatever. But then 26 came out. It had multiple first appearances. We're still waiting to see how big those are going to be. But we sold out of this really fast. Everybody was grabbing this. Plus a great cover. So this is Star Wars 26, second printing. And also, Mandalorian #2, second printing. So this is technically the first appearance of Grogu. The first issue was a cameo. This one is a first full appearance. And this is the photo cover for that.
Okay, so maybe some of you have heard Frank Miller is starting up his own comic publishing company that him and other creators that he's friends with are making comics about. Maybe you have not heard of this. Well, there was an ash can out for it last week, and everybody went to battle for it. You know, this is considered first cameos and appearances of a lot of characters that are going to be in this new comic publishing house that Frank Miller has begun. Well, because of that, usually ash cans, they just send one or two or a few of them to retailers. They are actually doing this one to print. So you can order one. So this is a second print of Frank Miller Presents Ash Can. And so I think a lot of people are going to want this.
We got to skim through it. It's really cool. We know someone who's working on the website for it.
We do,
and Alex Ogle, he's told us a lot of really cool stuff that's coming up. So I think this is definitely a pretty big thing. They're not just coming in with a few. There's a couple of titles to start out with, but there's going to be a lot over the course of the next year or two. So
yeah, there's a bunch of names attached. Philip Tan, Dan DiDio.
Yeah.
So last seen at DC, a major person at DC a while back. So
even a teaser in this for the next Sin City, which I think is pretty big. It's been a while since we've had Sin City.
And then we have Batgirls. This is the trade paperback volume 1, $16.99. This is the Cassandra Cain and Stephanie Brown Batgirl series that's been coming out. It collects issues 1 through 6 and some Batman backup stories from issues 115 to 117. So check it out.
All right, DC is releasing the hardcover collected edition of all of Shadow War. So this was the big Batman crossover that happened several months back where somebody killed Ra's al Ghul. It looked like it was Deathstroke, but was it really? And it just starts a huge battle amongst all of the underground Batman forces. So this is, I think, over 300 pages, all hardcover and bound for $39.99. You can have pretty much all of it, all the ties in, all the tie-ins and everything.
And then we have the first volume of Han Solo and Chewbacca. This collects 1 through 5 of this brand new series, which I still think a lot of people don't realize is an ongoing series and not a mini-series. This, had the feeling of a mini-series, but no, it's continuing. So if you missed out, pick up volume 1 for $17.99. It has 1 through 5 and the Life Day special that was a one-shot. So, and also, this is interesting. It is Mandalorian Season 1, Part 1 for $17.99, and it collects 1 through 4. So, the way the pricing works and everything, kind of weird, but if you need to get caught up on Mandalorian, this is what you need to get. And
then we have Unbeatable Squirrel Girl Omnibus. That was hard to say. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl Omnibus for $150. This collects a ton of her different mini-series and her longest ongoing series, issues 1 through 50, from 2015 to 2017. I love the tagline of this was, she's kicking butts and eating nuts. But yeah, Squirrel Girl is a charming little character, and I wonder why they are releasing this now. Perhaps, I wonder if this is the first time this is all collected together. So I got a couple different covers here. This is the Henderson cover and the Art Adams direct market variant.
All right, that is our show for this week.
Yay. I'm sorry I've been yawning my head off in this. I am running in a race at 5:30 in the morning tomorrow. I have to get up then. And I've been, like, moving my sleep schedule, so it's not that the comics have been boring me. It's that I am tired.
Sure.
So, anyway.
And not that the company has been boring you.
No, it's my own fault. Anyway, beyond that, beyond my personal life, thank you guys so much for watching our show today. Hopefully you found something useful and found some good info for some stuff you might not have known about. I know one of our commenters said they would have just flown right by that Vanish comic, the Stegman and Kate's one, so... yeah, anyway, leave us a comment of what you're most excited about. Make sure to subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.
I would like to also add in that before you run the race, at 7 o'clock tonight Eastern Time, Megan will be on Whatnot selling comics. 8 o'clock.
Even later.
8 o'clock. So, yeah, if you want to see her yawning even more while she sells comics at a discount price, 8 o'clock on our Whatnot channel.
Yes, please. All right. Have a good night, everybody.